Hi guys, it's Emily from Dear Nursery. I'm here with my Kylie by Romy Stridham, who was just recently adopted. This little one found a home and is going home as a boy. And his new mommy requested that he have painted hair. So as you can see, I'm in the process of adding it. He pretty much has his full hairline as well as the left side of his head on the temple. I'm working on filling in the right side. I've made it pretty much all, well, I started at the swirl rather and worked my way out. And once this whole section's filled in, I'm going to start working my way down the back. But I thought while I was painting, it might be a good time to answer a couple of tag videos, or tag questions rather. I have been watching several tag videos while I've been painting. Some days when I'm painting, if it's something like hair, where it's just kind of a more peaceful painting activity, where I'm not kind of switching between colors and brushes and things, I'm just kind of sticking with one color and one brush for a while, then I like to, excuse me, I like to watch different Reborn channels and just kind of enjoy myself. So two tag questions that I keep seeing coming up quite often are what do you like and dislike in Reborn videos, as well as the Reborn tag about do you feel we as collectors are being exploited for our love of these babies. So as usual, I'm terrible at remembering who originated each tag. I will look it up and put it down in the down bar below so you can see the original tag questions. But I thought I'd go ahead and answer those for you today. So I'm going to start with the Reborn video tag, what are my likes and dislikes. So I'll start with my likes. I think some of my favorite videos, the ones that when I first got into Reborns I found myself watching a lot, were Reborn outings. Particularly Reborn outings with reactions, ideally positive reactions. I think those are more fun and more encouraging, as well as just Reborn outings in general. I think it's really fun to see people taking their Reborns out, whether it be like a public shopping place like Walmart or even the grocery store or the mall, or if it's somewhere outdoors, like going to the park or doing something like that. I think those are really enjoyable. I also really love watching box openings. I always have. And I think within box openings, I tend to prefer videos that are maybe done, I don't want to say more high quality, because that's kind of like a eye of the beholder type thing. Some people view high quality, differently. More so, I guess, I like box opening videos that are filmed in nice lighting, because as an artist, I think I really appreciate seeing the quality of the work, and in really bright, kind of natural daylight lighting, that's a lot easier to see. So I really love box opening videos. Some other videos that I really enjoyed seeing are things like day in the life or morning routine or evening routine videos with their Reborn dolls. I think that's the type of role play video I prefer most, because I think I just like the flow of it. If you guys have watched some of my previous videos, you'll know that for many years I was a nanny, and I particularly specialize in infant and toddler care. So I, as a nanny, have done a lot of those routines, the morning and nighttime routines, and spent all day from morning till night with the baby. So I think the familiarity of those routines is really enjoyable for me, and I think that's a type of role play that I can relate to because it's something I did a lot in real life. So a few videos I dislike. I want to start by saying that just because I may not particularly enjoy watching these type of videos, that doesn't mean I find there's anything wrong with them. I've always expressed that anyone is welcome to enjoy this hobby however they please. If it's not harming anyone else, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So just because it's not my preference doesn't mean I don't think it's absolutely 100% okay that it's someone else's. It's just what I gravitate towards and what I don't. So I think the ones I don't gravitate towards too much, I guess feeding videos. I really like a video, for example, I was just watching My Little Tulip's tag video where she was feeding her Serenity kit baby. And even though that was a feeding video, which I don't tend to gravitate toward, it was also like a long talking tag video, which that's a type of video I really like. I love listening to people's opinions on different Reborn related topics. I also just kind of like discussion videos, particularly when it's someone like Yvonne, who I think one just seems like a very kind person, but also has a really relaxing voice to listen to. I know that might sound a little weird, but it's just calming to listen to someone talk like that. So those I do enjoy. But when it's just a feeding video on its own, where maybe it's completely silent, or there's like baby drinking sound effects, yeah, it's just not something I tend to enjoy. While I do really like outfit change videos, I tend to not watch videos that are strictly diaper change. For me, the fun of the changing videos is looking at the adorable outfit, maybe seeing the cute pajamas they were in, and then seeing the daytime outfit they're going to be wearing that day. I love seeing accessories like hats and shoes and scratch mittens and things like that. But when it's just diaper change, I guess it's not as exciting or fun or cute, because the diapers to me are just kind of plain. I also don't really like messy diaper changing videos. Again, just because I don't really care for diaper change videos in general, that the effects of the fake messy diapers don't really appeal to me either. So I'm trying to think of any other videos. I love doing box packing videos. They're some of my absolute favorites for a couple reasons. One is that I love the whole process of picking out clothes to go home with my customs. That's half the fun for me. I've had people ask me before, kind of more privately, like, how do I afford to send kind of big layettes home with my dolls for the prices that I charge? And the truth is, I'm pretty much just kind of losing profit on it. And I know that sounds silly, but for me, that's half the fun. I love creating the Reborn doll, but then I also really love getting to pick things out for it, and I love getting to wrap it all up really pretty and kind of have a color theme with the wrapping paper and the ribbons and the card, and just making it really, really special so that when that doll gets home, its new mommy or daddy not only loves the doll, but loves the process of opening them. That's really important to me. So I think because I like making those videos so much, I also really like watching those videos. And I honestly feel like I haven't seen too many channels that do Reborn box packings. I know that one of the channels I kind of first discovered, Still Moments Nursery, I'm not even sure if she's making new videos anymore, but she did a lot of box packing videos that I really enjoyed. So if you know of a channel, a Reborn channel that does box packing videos, please let me know in the comments below so I can go subscribe to them, because I love watching those. So yeah, I think that's everything for my preference in videos. Again, also my tastes are always changing. Sometimes I'll start watching a video I didn't think would be my taste and find that I really enjoy it. So I'm definitely open to different types of videos. Oh, and one other thing, because I am, as you can see, a Reborn artist as well, any video that is some type of tutorial video, and I don't mean a basics, like a Reborning basics tutorial from beginning to end, because I feel quite confident in my basics, but anyone who shows a particular Reborn tip or trick, like here is my custom Reborn varnish mix and how I apply it, or here's my special technique for doing veins and capillaries, or rooting eyelashes on open-eyed doll kits. Things like that I find really helpful. Even if it's something I already know how to do, I love getting to see other people's techniques, and I just really appreciate an artist who's open about their techniques and doesn't feel like they need to be secretive or keep their tricks of the trade to themselves. I mean, to some degree, I certainly do understand that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I just really appreciate when someone's very open about it, because I think it's great for us as artists to support each other and help each other learn and grow. So those might actually be my #1 videos, are helpful tips and tricks from other Reborn artists. Alright, so then the second tag question, which might get a bit more serious, we'll see, is, are we as Reborn doll collectors being exploited for our love of dolls? And I think kind of what that question really went into is that there's been a price increase in Reborn dolls, particularly within the past year, and that artists are taking advantage of the fact that people really want these dolls and are willing to pay high prices for high quality, and therefore the artists are pricing unfairly. Now I want to kind of go back a little bit in order to start this question. Just to say, as you guys know, I am a Reborn artist as well as a Reborn collector, so I feel like I kind of have a dual-sided perspective to this question. And that also, I was a collector for a while before I ever even started trying to learn to Reborn, and kind of well before I ever started selling my Reborns. So I started out as a collector, and looking back, I'm almost embarrassed to think of how little money I felt was appropriate to pay for a quality doll. I kind of feel like I wanted the world for just a few $100s. And I think at that time I was just able to come across some really, really great deals where, you know, maybe someone had a doll they were trying to sell for quite some time, so even though it was really high quality, they'd knock the price down significantly. And so I think I just attribute my, I guess my naivete, my ignorance on prices, to the fact that my first few purchases of high quality or pretty high quality Reborn dolls were just really, really great deals. And then I kind of felt like as I wanted to expand my collection and I was trying to find dolls that were of equal or higher quality, that the prices just seemed to jump dramatically from what I had paid to what I was now looking at. And I think I just sort of started to notice that pretty much all dolls of that quality were kind of priced in that bracket, and that I had just gotten some really great deals. But even so, those prices were, you know, kind of at the 600 and under mark. So, you know, still really high quality dolls, but staying under the 600 mark. But then I think things really changed when I myself became a Reborn artist. And once I was really sort of behind the scenes and learning step by step, it completely changed my perspective. Now I know someone, I think the originator of this tag had mentioned, you know, that it's not like kit prices have really changed dramatically. From my experience, a nice, pretty high quality kit that's relatively sought after is going to be at least $100, usually around $110 plus shipping. That kind of just seems to be a standard price. There are a few exceptions, of course. So the kits, I mean, $110 plus shipping is a pretty decent investment to make, but it's not like it's crazy expensive. And then the additional supplies are an added cost, of course. You have to pay for the cloth body, you have to pay for the glass beads that weight them, the polyfill to stuff them, the nylons or gloves or whatever it is you're using to hold the beads in place. I know that for my dolls, I like to use glass eyes versus acrylic, which are more expensive. They're at least about $30 a pair. You've got to get the hair for rooting lashes or rooting hair. You have to invest in all the paints, all the varnishes, sponges, brushes. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's really kind of incredible the amount of supplies I've accumulated in a relatively short time to make these Reborn dolls. Now that being said, that's buying them in bulk, and when you break them down into small quantities, just enough to complete one Reborn doll. Yes, it's true that it's not a ton of money. It's not like it's going into the hundreds of dollars, but it is an investment. But I think I'm rambling a bit. The biggest takeaway for me, and I've done the math several times, is the time investment. So what I've thought about, and I've redone the calculations as I've improved, is how many hours I'm putting into the creation of each doll from start to finish. And I use that, so the cost of a Reborn doll, or the cost that I price it at, minus the amount I spent on the kit and the supplies, leaves me what would be considered my profit margin. But then I divide the profit margin by how many hours I spent on the doll and what that breaks down to. And it varies slightly, but it's usually somewhere between $12 and $18 per hour, which is about the minimum wage price range, at least in California and Washington, the two states in which I've lived within the past year. And so when you think about it, yes, these dolls, when you're paying for them all in one go, do seem like a lot of money, but think that the artist, with the number of hours of work they've put into it, are making about minimum wage or a bit more. I'm making about what I made hourly nannying, and I wouldn't call my prices extreme. I'd say they're fairly reasonable. I think the highest amount I've ever sold a doll for is under $650. I think that would probably be the most expensive. So I personally wouldn't consider that outrageous, especially when you calculate in, the money I've spent on supplies and on clothes for the layette, which, like I said previously, I pretty much just pay almost out of pocket, divided by the number of hours. And then another thought I had too was, when you think about quality, I've found that as I've improved and become a better artist, I spend more and more hours creating each doll. I'd say when I first started, I maybe spent 12 hours on a doll because I wasn't doing as many layers, I hadn't learned all the techniques, I didn't yet know how to root lashes or paint hair or do any of those details. So my dolls were priced lower to appropriately fit the number of hours I was putting into it. But as I've improved as an artist, I am of course spending more and more hours making each doll, so my prices go up accordingly. So I think maybe some people who maybe aren't artists, you kind of miss seeing that part behind the scenes, and may think like, well, wait, why did this artist just suddenly raise her artistry fee by $50? That seems unfair. A month ago it was $50 cheaper. Well, maybe think that a month ago they didn't know a certain technique, and now they do, so their dolls are better, but in turn they're spending more time. So I know this is kind of long and rambly, but I wanted to try and kind of explain to you, I think, the thought process behind the dolls' prices and why prices may increase. Now, this does not in any way discredit the belief that some people are just priced way too high or asking far too much for the quality. that absolutely does exist. But I think what's important to keep in mind is that just because someone prices high, you're not obligated in any way to purchase it. If you feel like something is priced unfairly, you don't have to buy it. That's what's great, is you can always find another artist. There's so many talented artists out there right now. It blows my mind. I love when I'm looking for a new personal collection doll that there are so many different types of work from different people that I can choose from. And you know, you always have the option to find an artist who's more within your budget, whatever that may be. So yeah, I know that was kind of a long, rambly way of answering the question about being exploited, but I really did want to try and present it from both sides, both as a collector who buys dolls from other artists, and as an artist myself who sells dolls to collectors. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. I hope it's been helpful in some way. I hope maybe it's helped someone gain a new perspective. I'd also love to hear your feedback, whether you're an artist, a collector, or both. I love getting other opinions and new information. So please comment down below, or do the tag video yourself. I'd love to watch it. So as you can see, I've made a bit more progress in this time. On this side of the head, it was all just kind of in strips before, and now it's almost completely filled in on this side. I'm going to go ahead and bake it so that I don't smudge any of it while I'm working on the back side. And I'm probably going to be spending the next several hours, the rest of my evening, working on the back of this head. And I'm going to let all that sit probably for a day, take a step away, and then go back with a darker color and start doing my thickening and detail work. But here he is. He's looking super duper handsome. I love seeing him with hair. It makes such a difference. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.